Okay, so today we're going to be looking at word problems that involve percents. So one of your papers has the word problems on them, and then you have another paper with the border around it, and this is the paper you're going to show your work on because we need to see that your proportion is set up, and then your work, and then your answer. So let's look at number 1. Malcolm saves 20% of his allowance. He spends the rest. His allowance is $16 per month. How much did he save? So our paper has us setting it up part to total. So we know his total allowance is $16. So I'm going to put 16 on the bottom. We know that he saves 20% of his allowance, and percent always goes over 100. So what we're trying to figure out is what is that 20%? So our X and our 20% are talking about the same thing. The 20% is how much he saved, and we want to know that the X is how much he saved. So now that we have our proportion, we're going to show our work in this box. 100 times X is 100X. 16 times 20 is 320. We're going to divide by 100. Hopefully you remember that rule. When we divide by 100, we move the decimal 2 places to the left. So we get 3.20. So we can say that Malcolm saved $3.20. So $3.20 is 20% of 16. Let's look at number 3. So this was number 1, and now I'm going to do number 3 with you. So number 3 says, there are 200 7th graders at Gink Middle School. So that's probably our total. 40 of those students did not pass all of their classes. What percent passed all of their classes? So this time, we're looking for the percentage. So we don't know what it is, so that means our X is going to be over 100. We want to know what percent passed all of their classes. So we know the total number of students is 200. And the other information they give us is that 40 of the students did not pass. But if you notice, the question's asking us how many did pass. So we have to be careful here. Remember in the previous problem, I told you that the top 2 numbers are talking about the same thing. So if our X is going to be talking about the percent of students that passed, that means we need to make sure this side is talking about the number of students that passed. So how could I figure out of the 200 students, how many passed? Well, they tell me that 40 did not pass. So if I know there's 200 total and 40 failed, if I subtract those, I can figure out that 160 students passed their class. Now that I know how many passed, I can figure out what percent that is. So using this proportion, we're going to get our cross products. 200x equals 160 times 100. We tack on those zeros. This time I'm dividing by 200. I can simplify. Now I just have to divide 160 divided by 2. So I know 16 divided by 2 is 8. So 160 divided by 2 would be 80. And we need to put our answer with a label. So if you look in your proportion, the X was in the percent spot. So our label is going to be 80%. And we answered the question. 80% of the 7th graders passed all their classes. So you're going to continue to work on this assignment. Make sure you're showing all of your steps on your recording sheet. The proportion has to be set up, then your work, and then your answer with the label.